Excellent. Welcome to another episode of Starseed Activations. So today we are coming from a different location. I'm currently in New York, spending time with a bunch of my spiritual friends, and we did sound healings and all sorts of wonderful, amazing things. So we are currently in the middle of a retrograde. Now that retrograde may have potentially made you guys feel a lot of density. So you may be going through more physically focused experiences, and that's okay too. It's very important during this particular retrograde to just ground in, just allow yourself space and have compassion for yourself. Now, when we have compassion, make sure you're getting enough water in, because the water is vital in the electrical systems, the star people are saying, but also just holding space in that 0 point or in that slipstream that's inside of your heart chakra. When you come to a place of neutrality, it honestly makes all of the transitions that we currently are going through with the solar energetics a lot easier to slip through. Now, I have some amazing questions for tonight. We just take a sip. So the first question that came into our systems are, what brings the star people here to humanity to assist Earth? Now, this is very important because the star people are here to help assist us with our evolution. Now, what that looks like is, just imagine for one moment, the star people are very, very spiritual people. So if you think about like a Buddha or a monk who's constantly in that flow state, who's constantly focused on the energetics of his physical form, who maybe even perhaps has fully integrated the higher self inside of the heart chakra, allowing for full control over the holographic simulation. This is who the star people are. Now they want to take that knowledge, which is very high frequency, and they want to share it with all of us. And they want to do that because they want humanity to evolve. So that is why they are here, because just the same reason that I show up for you guys every single week, it's because when I give to you, I receive too. And I receive in the sense where it's my highest passion. So it makes me feel really good. It makes me feel great to talk about this type of information. That's how the star people feel. That's how they get when they start to communicate spiritual knowledge to people. Now, they keep showing me, just imagine for one moment that your highest passion was activating extrasensory abilities. So what that would look like is activation of magical senses, or senses, say, for an example, an individual's ability to instantaneously move an item with the mind. That the whole process of activating it could have been your highest passion, your highest potential. And so what happens when you now evolve and you have all of your senses activated, then your highest potential is still that. And so the next logical step in your own evolution is going to be to help other people to evolve. Because when we do kind things for other people, it makes us feel good. And so that is the reason why the star people come down. That is the reason why they help us. It is because they love us. They see us as a reflection of them, because their civilization was once at the same level or brick of consciousness that our civilization is at. So then it allows them to go through and learn by helping other people. So when we start to see us helping other people, now many times people, humanity as a whole will do this as their own, as an individual. And so let's take, for an example, someone who has walked a very traumatic path. They may then pick up the torch and they may go and help other people who are now walking the same or similar paths as to what they have walked. So this is a natural part of evolution. It's we do it and then we help other people through it as well. So that has a lot to do with birds of the feather flock together, they're saying, because when you have healed something, you may start to attract, according to the laws of polarity, people who are experiencing the same or similar expressions. An expression is an experience that you go through, but there's different ways that experience can be expressed. So the star people use that type of word to just fully integrate the experiential. Because just imagine for 1 second, you have an experience, but you can express the experience completely different than what another person would do. Everyone does it totally different. So the second question is, how do the star people assist human beings with our growth and evolution? Now, we are stepping into a day and age in which telepathic abilities are becoming fully known in the planet. What that looks like is very interesting, because when we start to see individuals speaking very, very rapidly, it then is going to start to be where the language that is spoken is too slow. When that language is too slow, the telepathy won't activate. But when that language is fast, it goes very, very rapid, then all of a sudden the universe says, well, they can't keep up with the conversation because the conversation is going fast enough. And then all of a sudden, bam, telepathy activates among the entire species. It's not just one person, because the second that one person achieves telepathic communication, it spontaneously shifts the human consciousness grids, thus allowing for other individuals to tune into that experience at a higher rate. Now, that's a blessing in disguise, because we've already done it. We have so many people on the planet who have already made contact and communication with not only the star people, but other extraterrestrial beings who are not affiliated with the star people. Now, because the telepathy is activated amongst all people, this is the reason why the star people are telling us it is okay for each and every person watching this video to try and reach out and make contact with the star people. They want to talk to all of us. They do not want one person channeling. They want everyone to do it, because the more and more multiple every one of us channel, and we start to say, okay, it's okay to have that little voice inside of our minds talk to someone. And it's okay for them to give me thoughts, feelings, and ideas back, because they're trying to assist. Now, I'll never forget my one day. The one day I was like, oh, okay, there's actually people listening to my thoughts. And then I asked a question and I heard hello. And I heard it. It was like the thought inside of your mind, but it's very clear when you start to hear the communication from them. But it always starts as one word, which is very important, because it's okay to receive that one word. And then it's okay to allow more, to say hello back to them. Say, thank you for guiding me. Thank you for supporting me. And thank you for helping save humanity and save the planet as a whole. Now, when we continue to do that, it actually allows them to step in more and more. So I hear you often each time you go live. I love the vibe when they reach out while you're doing your thing. Love you. Thank you, Facebook user. Welcome, Scott. Welcome, Nancy. Yes, and it's absolutely beautiful when the star people, they step in, because they do shift the frequency inside. They change the voices. Sometimes the facial expressions change. It's different each time. You'll see. And then I've actually had the Magdalene Collective has stepped forward through me on several occasions. So, which is beautiful too, because it's a very high frequency and high essence. You just really feel like love, cared for, and blissed, and allowing that range of emotions to fully wash over your body. It makes a channeler feel amazing. So each and every one of us need to start cultivating this. Now, how does it feel to channel? What you guys should start to do is just start to close your eyes and just imagine the person that you want to channel. So at first you may feel like you're making it up. That's okay too. Keep doing it, because anything that we put our conscious focus and attention on is going to expand in its nature. And so the more and more you start to place focus on it, the better you're going to become at it. This is just like anything that we learn on the planet. So if you're trying to be a cook, the more and more you cook, the better you're going to become at it. So the more and more you sit down to try and channel, you guys can even take a pen and a piece of paper, and you can start writing down questions, and you can ask them questions. A lot of times they'll take your hand and they will write the answer out. That's called automatic writing. So try doing that as well. The star people know who each and every person who watch my lives are. They know all of you guys. They watch you and they sense what emotions run through you. They maybe trigger questions in you, and they expand all the knowledge that they're giving you guys through these questions and answers. So everything is always in divine alignment, and whatever they are giving us, just be happy and grateful and just allow it to expand. So okay, the next question is, what colors are their auras? Oh, okay, the star people are saying to go back to the second question. They're saying, how do the star people assist human beings with our growth and evolution? So let's say, for an example, they're showing me a person who was meant to go left. And then if they would have went left, they would have gotten smushed by a truck or something. And so the star people gently allowed them to go right. And so they intervene to save us, specifically the star seeds, because all of the star seeds, we have star family up there. And that star family is watching over each and every one of us. They know who we are. They know we're down here on a mission. They know that we came here really to hold higher frequencies and higher levels of consciousness to allow for the human consciousness to raise and expand. And that includes all sorts of abilities and gifts, because some abilities and gifts are the grid worker ability, which is having the ability to take your love and light from your heart chakra and cast it up into the human consciousness grids. Now, when you guys do that, you can also cast upwards thoughts. So let's take, for an example, any thought. If you're having a thought that your civilization that you want to see is peaceful, love, and light, just say, thank you, universe, I live in a peaceful civilization where everyone cares about each other. And just imagine taking that thought and casting it up into the consciousness grids. What's going to happen is every time a human being has a thought run through their mind, it actually becomes downloaded into 3 people at once. So 3 people is a triangle in its shape. And it has a lot to do with the Merkaba field. This is also how the mental grids work. It's in a triangle shape. So when we cast that knowledge, that information, or that thought form back up to the human consciousness grids, it is actually blending it with your higher self as well, which allows for the manifestation to become real in your independent physical reality. Each individual in the holographic simulation is encoded into his or her own holographic bubble. And then it's your aura field bubble. So when we come together, our energetic grids intertwine, allowing us to be co-creators of the simulation. But when we separate, we go back into our own bubbles, our own aura fields. This is another reason why when we start to do things like go inside and we start to have experiences of healing, many times we may get put into isolation. This is perfectly normal, because when we get put into isolation, it allows for us to really heal in our own energy so that we are not with any other energy. Many times this has a lot to do with cleaning your house, decluttering, removing items that no longer serve you. All of these things, because each item that you have inside your house is actually adding to the energy of that location. So when you start to move items around, you're changing the energy of the location, which is wonderful, because if there's ever a time when you don't feel quite well or not high of frequency, then you can change your room. You can change the flow of the energy, move around the furniture, see how you feel. It's always about seeing how you feel, because when you walk inside your home, it should feel like a breath of air, like a release, like, I'm home, I feel good, it's nice, it's beautiful in here. And then when you do that, your body feels better. When your body feels better, your fight or flight systems start to turn off. And then in turn, you start to become at peace. And then your mind becomes at peace. And then you feel a little bit better. And then all of a sudden, you could focus more on your creative abilities. Things like reading a book or writing poetry are things that you're able to do because your body is at peace. So we want to always try and cultivate peace inside of our home first, because that peace is going to allow us to really shine bright. Okay, so what color are the star people's auras? Now, the star people are from multiple planets. There's different beings. It's like an entire collective. And so each one of their auras, it works the same as ours. If they are currently holding an emotion in the now moment, that emotion is going to trigger one of their primary chakra systems. Emotion is going to change the coloring of the aura field. For example, if they are holding the emotion of love, then their aura field may look green. If they are holding the emotion of pain, let's say they get a cut or something hurts, their aura field may turn red. Pain is low. And so this is the way the aura field or the energy grids work. This is the flow of energy. Whenever we start to notice that our emotions that we currently are holding in the now moment is having an effect or an impact on the energy grids, then that allows us to start doing things like when you get cut, when you feel pain, you could just take a nice deep breath in and to just be at peace. And when you come to peace, it's okay to feel that pain. It is okay to have that cut. It is absolutely okay for the experience to be here. And then all of a sudden it allows that neutrality to open up, which then in turn allows you to hold a higher frequency, and it stops the cycle repeat. So cycle repeats are when you get cut and then you get cut again and again and again until you hold a higher frequency. Well, the second that we know and we fully understand that that's the way the system works, it allows us to just jump to the line and just, okay, I feel the cut, I feel the pain, I'm just going to send love and light. Now, certain emotional traumas, it is very difficult to do that with. So some traumas will actually activate the fight or flight systems. You may even feel a vibration underneath your skin. That is the fight or flight systems, because the neurological systems are directly controlled into the fight or flight systems. So sometimes an emotion needs to be expressed. And as a human being, sometimes you just have to let it out. You can't hold it in. If you try and just handle it with love and light, sometimes that just doesn't work. Sometimes the emotion just has to be released. That's okay too. It is okay to release. It is okay to cry. Many times in our civilization, people are told it's not okay to cry. It is okay to cry, because every single tear that we release is actually discharging the emotions on the inside of the body. And when we discharge emotions on the inside of the body, it clears them for us. Now, it is very important to use salt water on the outside of the body. So whenever we do attachment releases or emotion discharging or crying, salt water baths are key, because that salt water from your eyes is clearing the emotions on the inside of the body. We want to use salt water on the outside of the body to clear the energetic grid structure. Now, can the ETs, the star people do not like the word ETs. They're asking me to rephrase. Can the star people teleport? And if so, how do they do it? And they do it with their bodies. Now, any type of biological form is able to fully teleport in time when they access a certain level of consciousness. What that looks like is knowing that you are currently in a holographic simulation. It looks like holding love and light, because you have to access a certain frequency, which is above 3D. It's more 5D based and 4D based. And when we start to go inside, we can activate. When we start to activate the energetic grids or the Merkaba field, it allows for a type of instantaneous teleportation to occur. Now, instantaneous teleportation, it is not the outside world that changes. It is your individual simulation and your frequency that shifts you into a parallel reality in which it may seem or be perceived as if you teleported. That's not actually the case. The truth of the matter is that there's a flicker rate. That flicker rate is going with the heartbeat, and it's actually faster than the heartbeat, because it's like, it goes like this, and it's about that speed. That's what I saw when I was shown the flicker rate. And so when we go inside and we can start to slow down time or space, you'll see the world that you are physically looking at right now. Everything that you see, just imagine it like a cartoon book with a picture behind a picture behind a picture. That's actually what the simulation looks like. So when we talk about instantaneous teleportation, we are closing the eyes, and everything starts in meditation. So teleportation is the same. Close your eyes, visualize where you want to be. Now, when we do this now, it turns into a great manifestation. So, I want to be at the beach. I'm at the beach. I see the beach. I sense the beach. The beach is underneath my toes. And then all of a sudden, you'll manifest according to time and space, you'll manifest being at that beach. But what I'm telling you is, when you start to hack into the heart space, that 0 point, you start to open up that neutrality. It then allows you to close your eyes and believe that you're already there, which it just changes that flicker ratio. And then all of a sudden, one of the pictures coming shifts to the beach picture. And when you open your eyes, you're already going to be on the beach. That's instantaneous teleportation. It is possible. You guys can do it right now. The easy way to see or to sense doing it right now is to do it when you're driving your car. So when you're driving your car, time going home always seems faster, the star people are saying, than the trip going somewhere. So that's showing you how time and space can be easily manipulated. Now, just imagine for 1 second, the happier you are, the faster time goes. the sadder, more depressed you are, the slower the time goes. That's how we can start to see how our emotions start to impact time and space. So what if you're driving a road trip? That road trip takes 2.5 hours, but you're so happy, you're bubbling, you're laughing, you're really enjoying yourself to the degree in which that 2.5 hours, it felt like 1 hour went by. Now, when you check your clock, when you actually got there, you only spent maybe 2 hours instead of 2.5. I've done that before, so I've seen it, so I know it's real. Now, when we start to have these experiences, it's because our frequency raises, which has an impact on that time and space. So we are supposed to step into more love and light frequencies, and we are supposed to hold love-based emotions. The emotions is what controls time and space. So go inside, and we just start to ever so gently be at peace with what is, and then just laugh and be as children are. And when we do that, then all of a sudden it's like the outer world start to unlock for us. Now, when we are focused on the external holographic simulation, it allows the individual in access into external grids. Those external grids, there is 3 degrees. The 3 degrees of the external grids controls the biological form. The secondary grid is your location code. So when we do things like instantaneous teleportation, we are adjusting the location ring. When we adjust the location ring, you have to use your imagination. Your imagination is going to allow you the ability to not only imagine a beach, but maybe imagine something otherworldly. Imagine your star family. Imagine seeing anything that you wish to manifest into your physical reality may be programmed into the location code. Once that program is set into the location code, which is a secondary ring structure, then your time, space, and the 0 point must be programmed. In order to program the time and space in the 0 point, you must drop into neutrality. So yes, universe, it is okay for me to be right here in this moment. And it is okay if I'm there. It is okay if I'm not there. It doesn't really matter because the 0 point is neutral. So hold neutrality and just know that you cast that location ring and you programmed it. When we start programming the rings, it makes us very powerful. There are so many different things can be programmed into your rings. Your rings, the primary one is your biological form. So let's take for an example, there is a sacred geometric snowflake, which may be programmed into the ring structure and allow for instantaneous healing to occur. Now that sacred geometric snowflake is going to look something like, they're showing me an emotion code. And so each and every one of us know that we can take a look at the snowflakes, that you speak a word and then the snowflake forms. And so let's take for an example that an individual has an imbalance in a particular emotion. Any emotion that you guys currently are running, Google the opposite emotion. So if you feel sad, happy is the exact opposite. Now, Google the snowflake. How does happy look on a snowflake? And then you're going to get an image. That image is going to be geometry because that is the way the simulation works. When you take that image, let's say you have a piece of paper with the image on it. Look at the snowflake and just imagine casting that snowflake into the biological ring that's above your head. Do it. See it, you can see it, and like you close your eyes and you'll still see the snowflake. Turn your head up and imagine throwing that image up there. What's going to happen is any of the imbalances in your biological form pertaining to the original emotion code is going to be, it's going to be reversed because now you're doing the energetic healing in the grids. The grids are very important because when we start to release the traumas that we have held inside our entire year, it allows us to go inside and to just replace them with love-based emotions. Now, many times you may feel as if it is hard or complicated to reprogram the emotions inside of you. This is the way to do it, the easy way. And it's okay. We want to release the traumatic emotion. And here, bam, we want to reprogram the positive one in. Use an image, use a sigil. If you have to, or if you can even take an image and you can turn it into, they're showing me like a temporary tattoo, or even if you draw, there's a biological number. It's a binary codex frequency. He's showing me ones and zeros that can also produce a healing effect when you write the binary code on the actual skin and you love and light it. And so when you do things of this nature, it turns into a giant manifestation. However, your aura field is a toroidal field. It kind of interacts as like a donut. Now, when we see that donut form, there are certain imbalances that are outside in the grids, and there are ones in the inside. The ones in the inside, generally speaking, they have already caused imbalances. Otherwise, they would be on the outside of the grids. So what we always do first is we look on the inside of us. How does your body make you feel? Now, how your body makes you feel is of key importance, because when we start to cultivate and grow the body relationship, the star people are saying, it then allows us communication with the body. So we'll be able to get interactions and we'll be able to see, how does the body feel? Now, if you close your eyes and you just take a nice deep breath in and release, just ever so gently allow your body to sink. Allow it to feel loose, calm, comfortable, secure. Allow everything, give everything a nice little squeeze and release. And when you release, how does your body feel now? Is there any tension? Is there any tightness? Does your heart skip a beat? How does your body feel? If there's any tension, any tightness, I want you guys to get a pen and paper, write it down. Now you have the location. Now you guys can very simply go online and you can type in the location and you can ask the internet, where is the location energetically connected to? So many times we may come across one of the primary chakras, the root, the sacral, solar plexus, all the rainbow colored chakras are connected into different organs and different parts of the body. And so when we start to ask online, we start to seek the knowledge. So seek the knowledge. Okay, over here on my ear, what chakra is the ear connected to? And then see what the internet says. And then you'll start to pull apart. Okay, this is the area in the energetic grid. Each and every one of us must become the seeker. We must seek the knowledge, and the knowledge will find us. It will unpack for us. This is guaranteed. This is 1,000%. This will always work. If you seek something, you will find it. Many times as humans, we are told this, because when we go seeking for things that are going to bring us pain, we will find it. So it's just the way the simulation works. Only seek if you are willing to find. Now, when we start to talk about extrasensory abilities, those who seek shall find, because it will also unpack into their simulations. It has to, because when you seek something, you're putting your conscious focus and attention on it, and then all of a sudden it's changing your magnetism. Your magnetism is your joy. So when you are joyful over something, the universe hands you more of that something. When you are sad over something, the universe hands you more of that sadness. This is how the simulation works. When we go through and we start cutting the cords to all the sadness and we start focusing on joy, we're going to receive more of joy. It is very important as well throughout this process. The star people are stepping forward saying it is important to release the traumas of your past, because those have cycle repeats, and the cycle repeats always will have to be repeated until a higher vibrational frequency is met. Excellent. Let me take a sip. How's everyone doing tonight? Good? Okay. Okay, so what's one message the star people have now for all of humanity to hear right now? Now, this is very important, because what the star people are currently saying is love is inside of you. It is already inside of you. It is located inside of your hearts. You may access this frequency anytime as you see fit. This frequency may also be broadcast out into your locations, into all of the people around you, regardless on if you speak to them or not. It may be broadcast to different locations. Let's say Maui, we can send love and light. This is something that the more and more you cast of, it will heal your mind, body, and spirit complex, allowing you to tune into a higher frequency range and allowing your evolutionary process to go much smoother. Beautiful. Okay. Why is love and light so important, and why or how will that benefit humanity? That was a perfect answer. Sometimes it takes me back and like, oh, okay, it's gorgeous. Okay, so why is love and light so important, and why or how will that benefit humanity? How does it feel to be in love? The best feeling on the world. And when each and every one of us are in unconditional love, it unlocks the potentials and the possibility for the entire planet. Now, what that looks like is simple. If everyone is in love with their lives, everyone is peaceful and happy. You're going to see less people yelling and screaming. You're going to see, they're showing me it will activate a level 1 civilization. And so what that looks like is less car accidents, more peace. Everybody has a home. Everybody has food. Everyone is clean. The landscaping becomes clean. Everything, our children become educated to such a degree in which the parents are blown away, because it's like, wow, we're teaching the kids in that world where everyone is holding love. We're teaching the children things that are actually going to change and benefit humanity as a whole. If a child is born with a gift, let's say for an actual experiential, the child is born with a technological gift. That child right away is cultivated with technology. So that child is given toys to tinker with, in which he can put together an iPhone. And then by the child reaches 12 to 15, that child is building supercomputers. And then by that time that child turns into a man, that child has achieved greatness in his highest passion and his highest potential. That is what a level 1 civilization looks like. It looks like peace among humanity. It looks like the artist painting a piece of art just simply to give it away to a random stranger because he loves painting without any value. Now, any artwork that they do, they can snap a photo and they can put it digital so that the entire world can see. It looks like your neighbors are all taken care of. It looks like when it snows, we don't have to worry because the streets and the driveways, everything melts the snow. Automated or flying cars, instantaneous teleportation, meditation centers where everyone can go and meditate and activate themselves. It looks like, just imagine for one moment, a handful of magicians walking around the planet going bippity boppity boo. Everything is beautiful because they're manifesting it. That is what a level 1 civilization looks like. Now, humanity will step into a day and age because the technology is already here on our planet. Our government has it. Forget the extraterrestrials. Humanity already has this technology. What they're releasing to the general population is it's peanuts compared to what they have. We could take a look at the cell phones and we could determine that right away, because the cell phones haven't really changed. The computers, the technology, the washers, the dryers, refrigerators, none of this has really changed. It's the same stuff. It hasn't really grown and evolved. If anything, you take a look at the current technology and everything is falling apart because we're using cheaper and cheaper base materials to build stuff. So when we talk about technologies of the future, only human technologies of the future, there's so much out there that can be manifest for humanity when we are allowed and cultivated to express it. Now, of course, that technological advancement has to come with a consciousness shift, because certain technologies, when we get into physics, we have frequency devices on Earth, and those frequency devices can levitate rocks. This is how the pyramids were built way back when. Now, that's anti-gravity. So anti-gravity is using magnetism. In the right hands, it's positive and loving for all. In the wrong hands, it's dangerous. So the consciousness has to be raised, which is what we're doing right now. In time, when the consciousness of all of the Earth reaches a certain degree, the technology will be released. But by then, the spiritual ones, the light-born ones, they're going to be activated and they're not going to need the technology anyway. So it's game over at that point, because if you can levitate things using technological means, you could do it with the physical body. Once again, I'm only talking Earth technology, not extraterrestrial technology. This way, everyone is very clear on that. Now, any extrasensory ability we can see with technology first. So we take a look at the microwave. The microwave is a frequency generator. It's frequency technology. It's taking the atoms and molecules and it's vibrating them at a very rapid rate, speeding them up, making the food hot. So if we can do that with the microwave, then can we do it with the physical body? The physical body produces heat. We already can produce heat. Heat is that higher frequency that starts to expand. It starts to raise the frequency of anything. So let's take for an example, you're holding an ice cold bottle of water. If you put your hands on it and you imagine, I'm not going to do it. Mine has an ice chunk in it and I like my ice, but just imagine sending that bottle of water heat. What's going to happen? You're going to heat up that bottle, the ice is going to melt, and then all of a sudden it's going to be room temperature faster because you're consciously focused on doing it. Now, that's something very basic. We take it for advantage, but what happens if you sit there day and night and you really try to cultivate this chi energetic ability? Me personally, I've had experiences where any type of extrasensory ability always gets activated with a high emotional frequency. This frequency can be fear, or it could be love and light, or authentic. I've done it with both. Now, there was one time I was in a spiritual shop and I went to fall. I didn't go to fall. The universe tripped me, right? And as I'm going down, I put my hand on somebody and he got an electrical voltage spark and it ran through his whole body and he jolted. He was like, I felt like I'd plugged something into a wall outlet and got zapped. That's a chi energetic ability. Each and every one of us, we have magnetism inside. We also have electricity inside of our physical body, as well as the energetic grid complex. The complex is the entire grid. It's not just the structures of the basic grids, it's everything. The personality grid and the memory complex is also included in that. So when we start to talk about the extrasensory abilities, harnessing electricity is an ability that every single one of us has. We know this innately, because we know that when someone's heart stops, we have to use electricity to jumpstart them. So electricity is in the body. Now we have to just figure out how to cultivate it and unlock it. And when we start to do that, it's like, oh, well, wait a minute. Now we can do things like light up a light bulb. So how do we do things where we can take the body's electrical, which is a field? It's electrical field. If anyone has studied Tesla, Tesla had certain technology where he used to put up a tower and the tower used to radiate free energy technology. And then we would have a light bulb and the tower would be anywhere. And then the light bulb would light up because it was connected to his tower. That's what the human body is capable of expressing. Each and every one of us can do this right now, just using our physical forms. And this is a reason why activation of the extrasensory abilities is key. The junk DNA is where all of this information is stored. There's 365 extrasensory abilities. Some of them are in the physical. Now, the physical is going to be things like sense of magnetism. Your sense of location is determined by your sense of magnetism. Your sense of trauma. So is an accident about to happen? Time and space tends to slow down. When that happens, that's a sense of trauma. We can sense that before it comes. You can see or sense bad things before it happens. Now, every single human being, we're already doing this. We can see or sense things before they come. That is the ability to see into the future. The past, the present, the future, it is all coexisting right now at this moment. There is no future. There is no past. It's all right now in this precise moment. And it goes out like a toroidal field. It's like a donut. Infinity symbol or the figure 8 sideways. That is how the simulation flows. So when we know this, now that means that we can not only change the future, but we can change the past. So how do we change the future? What do you want to manifest? How does it make you feel? Allow that feeling to wash over your entire physical body and just allow it to come into your reality. Try and set yourself in magnetism, in alignment with that manifestation. That's how we change the future. How do we change? We do it all the time. We remember things completely differently compared to how other people remember it. And then all of a sudden, 5 years will go by and we'll sit down, we'll have the conversation, and our memories are completely different than everyone else's. That's because each person is in their own simulation. We're all plugged in differently. It's like we have a little slipstream, which is your higher self coming into the physical form. That slipstream is what gives you your memory and your simulation. When you change your frequency, you change your simulation. That's how the system works. Now, it's when you hold more love and light, it thus allows the entire simulation to bend to your will to a degree. Now, any density, any distortions that are in your energetics, even if you're holding primarily love and light, the density and the distortions have to be healed. It's not removed. The star people are correcting, because I was going to say moved. They took that word out. They said they have to be healed, because you're not removing the density. The density is there, and we want to heal it. We want to send it love and light, and we want to be at peace with whatever happened to us, no matter how dark, no matter how dense. I've walked a very dark path because I was a cripple for 12 years. Being a cripple, I was on pain medicine. I couldn't walk. Everything hurt. Everything was breaking down. My entire life, it was darkness and darkness and darkness. Now, when we start stepping into the light, there's a moment of reconfiguration that each and every one of us has to walk through. That reconfiguration is like, okay, I have to just be at peace. Many times you'll hear people say, it is what it is, and this is what I'm dealing with today, and it's just baby steps. Right? You just take baby steps until you get through that part of your life. Many people who have walked through trauma know exactly how that feels. But then we start tuning into the light waves. Now, the way the darkness and the light works, many times we dive in deep to the dark, and then it slingshots us up to the light. So if you had a look at how a frequency wave looks, it looks like this. Like that. Like that, right? So when the frequency wave does that, just imagine for 1 second that there is a middle ground, like that. The level of darkness that you guys walk through, it allows you to the exact level of light. So that then means, see, the level of darkness, level of light. My Facebook screen froze. I can't see if you can see, but it's okay. Darkness and light. Now, so when you walk through very dark experiences, it allows you to slingshot into the light realms. So that turns every single dark thing that ever happened to any one of us a blessing. It's a blessing in disguise, because it allows us to go high. And when we heal and we tune into light frequency waves, it allows us to unlock the extrasensory abilities very rapidly. Now, that looks like is we have a look at the junk DNA systems that the star people are saying. The junk DNA systems are where all the extrasensory abilities are located. So because you've experienced a darkness, the dark aspect of the junk DNA has already been activated. Now, when you tune into the love-based frequencies, it activates the other end of that DNA, activating the ability. That's how it works. So it's just a beautiful life path. It's beautiful to be here, and it's beautiful to go through this ascension process, because when we come back into love, we start remembering who we are. And when we start really tuning in and just being at peace in this moment, it doesn't matter what's happening in the world. It doesn't matter what's happening in your next bedroom. None of that matters. What matters is right here, right now, in this moment. And what can we choose in this moment? In this moment, I choose joy. In this moment, I choose bliss. And in this moment, I choose my highest passion. What do you guys choose? I urge each and every one of you guys to just find something inside of you right now in this moment and just be thankful for it. You guys can actually put your fingers like this, the top 3 together. To the star people are correcting me. They're saying make it like a heart, like this. Put your thumbs to your heart and just close your eyes ever so gently. Take a nice deep breath in. Release. Just imagine and visualize something that each and every one of you are grateful for. How does that gratefulness make you feel? Allow that love-based emotion to just wash over your entire biological form. Allow it to give you a sense of hope and peace and love and bliss. Now, the star people are stepping forward, and they are doing individual frequencies and attunements on each and every person doing this now, throughout time and space. And so you may feel a tingle, you may feel warmth, you may feel love. And that is your individual star families, helping, guiding, and supporting you throughout your evolutionary journeys. And many, many love and blessings, dear ones, from the star people. It's beautiful. Facebook turned off. My computer turned off. Hold on 1 second, guys. I don't think they can still see me. I hope you guys can still see me, Facebook. I don't know if you guys still saw me. My computer shut off. Okay, so let's see the next question. I tried fixing, I have an iMac. I don't know how to fix a screensaver. So it just shuts the screen off. It's okay. Okay, so here's another question. It is important for us to have peace. If so, what is their guidance and insight on attaining peace? Yes. Okay, awesome. Thank you. They said Facebook's still up, so you guys are good. Okay. It is important for us to have peace. If so, what is their guidance and insight for attaining peace? First, each and every one of us, we have to attain inner peace because the outer world is simply a reflection of the frequency that we are currently in alignment or holding on the inside. So when we start to see, when you cultivate peace, you change. When you're, and it takes a moment. It's not really like 1, 2, 3. You have to change your frequency. You have to be the change that you wish to see in the world. Now, when you change your frequency, then all of a sudden it radiates out through your energetic field. When it radiates out, then you start to notice reflections. So let's take, for an example, this is one of my current reflections. This is the same exact thing as inner peace. I always have fresh, organic, natural spring water directly from Mother Earth. I say it like a mantra. That's all I drink is spring water. Thank you, Mother Earth, for giving me spring water. The minerals in the spring water, it heals me. I say it over and over and over again. Well, then one day I manifested a spring. And it was of nothing I did because it was just the universe making the people, places, and things that I needed so that the spring was brought to my awareness. And then I start taking my containers, going down to the spring, filling up my water. And now all of a sudden I have free, natural, organic, non-fluorinated spring water all of the time in my house, and it's always full and free and fresh. And not only that, but I get to walk in the creek to get to the spring, and so it's also earth grounding me in there. When you cultivate, you're the change, then all of a sudden it reflects out. And so now we just kick back and we see how long until everyone has free, fresh spring water, right? And we don't know how that looks. That could look like each and every one of you guys putting your conscious focus and attention and then finding the springs local to you. And then all of a sudden you are filling your own jars because you want to use the best spring water ever. Now, let me tell you guys something. There's a vortex energetic that is in that spring water. And so just imagine for 1 second, the spring comes up. It's like water under the ground and it pushes up like a waterfall, like it's like a gusher. That's what a spring looks like. And when the spring comes and it's gushing upwards, it's because the earth generated a vortex in her energetic field. That vortex pushes the water up. This is also how the trees work. Now the trees take that vortex energetic and Mother Earth is pushing the water directly up the tree trunk. That's how the water gets all the way to all the leaves way up top. It's not suction. There wouldn't be enough suction to make the water suck up all the way to the tree tops. That's not the way it works. It's a vortex. It's Mother Earth saying, oh, there's a tree. The tree needs this vortex because they're in alignment. Bam, we're going to give this amount of water because this is what the tree needs. It's a vortex. The springs work the same way. When a human being drinks vortexed water, its structure of the subatomic levels, the star people are saying, is coherent for the biological form to heal. This is the water we are designed and meant to be drinking. Not only that, but it has a type of voltage because we are drinking living water. That water has not been sitting around on a bottle for 6 months, sitting in plastic. That water is alive. It came to us, it's whooshed out of the earth, and we're drinking it right from the source. When you drink from the source, it turns into healing water. Now, in all sorts of ancient texts on this planet, we see information about people diving into healing waters and becoming healed. That's what this is. The mineral content alone has enough voltage in not only the water, but the minerals. The salt is what opens up the cellular structures and allows that electrical voltage into each and every cell in your body. So whenever we start to see the pH levels of a person drop and the oxygen levels drop, these things are all connected because when you're drinking living water, the oxygen and the pH usually balance out. A lot of the times, not always, the star people are correcting. That's okay too. Now, when we start to focus on the pH, That pH allows us to ground our energetics, our electricity inside the body into the cellular structure. Now, there's a lot of information on earth grounding because earth grounding has to do with the ions inside of the body, and that starts an inflammation process. So it's anti-inflammation because it pulls all the inflammation out of the body. Now, ozone is another one that each and every person listening should research, because whenever we take ozone, let's say we have an ozone generator and we bubble it through things like olive oil, and then all of a sudden, or even avocado oil or any type of oil if you're going to put on your salad, and now that oil is ozoned. Then all of a sudden, when you ingest that ozone, it starts to heal the body. The ozone heals us. We just can't breathe it in directly because it can make you sick. But if you bubble it through something like your water and then drink the water, same thing. The earth is designed to heal us. Now, we used to have very large trees on this planet, trees bigger than the size of a mountain. The tree trunks are still here. We can see them on Google Earth, certain tree trunks. Guys, do a Google search and go see it for yourself. Those trees produced more oxygen on this planet once upon a time. The beings that we once were, because we had a higher oxygen count, it allowed the body to tune into higher frequencies. And because each tree trunk has magnetism in it, because that vortex energetic, it's coming from the earth, it's tuning into her magnetism. The aurora borealis has a very large tree trunk around that area. So we take a look at the movie Avatar. What did that movie show us? There was a very large tree. The human hominoids in that particular movie, they used to ground in and connect to that tree. Why did they ground in and connect to that tree? It was a tree of life. We know tree of life. I'm the tree of life. That's on my name tag. That's my business. When we start to see the tree of life and we start to see them regrow, because humanity has made a call and Mother Earth has heard. The star people are saying right now, they're saying that Mother Earth is going to be growing these great ancient trees. And that tree is going to be very expansive. And that tree is going to hold a higher magnetism, which is going to ground in and connect things like the aurora borealis is going to become grounded in with the planetary frequency when humanity has risen to a certain degree of consciousness. This is going to allow the perception of each person on the planet to become more expansive. And it is going to allow for one who is born or innate to this planet to tune into the collective consciousness grid and see. And you will be able to see during that time, dear humanity, you shall be able to see the past, the present, and the future of your current alignment or your current reality. And you shall be able to ground and see all knowledge of all time and space for what timeline you are currently in alignment with. We are multidimensional in our nature. And so we are able to pull our consciousness back up, merge it with the higher self, and pick and select a different timeline to co-create into. That looks like one day you're human, and then you shift, and then you can pull yourself into a parallel reality in which you are not human. Maybe you are a dolphin or a whale. That's okay too. We have billions of lifetimes, and they're all existing in the Akashic records. But there is another type of record that is above the Akashic records. It's your binary codex record. That binary codex record is every parallel existence, including this one. This one is every timeline, every reincarnation, every thought, every feeling, every emotion is in the Akashic records. Each and every one of us can go to the Akashic records and see it. All that knowledge is encoded into your DNA and your light stream, which is in the 0 point. That's your soul form. I'm telling you that there is a level up. That's quantum. It's a quantum codex, the star people are saying. The quantum codex is what contains your multidimensional nature. So you activating yourself. Oh, and they're also showing me the process of falling asleep, because once upon a time we were all activated and then we all fell asleep. The star people are saying all of that is encoded into the quantum codex of each individual, allowing us to have a look and a perception of where it is that we are consciously in alignment to manifest and what reality of the simulation we choose to become in alignment with. Now, meditation is key. You do not have to meditate for hours to make changes. You just have to learn how to access your individual slipstream. You have to pull yourself inside the center of your heart. You have to hold neutral. You do not have to hold love and light. You do not have to hold anger and rage. You have to hold neutral to be able to cast yourself up the tubule. However, what the star people are saying right now, you can cast yourself upwards, but there is a block here. It's actually up a little higher, but the camera won't see. That is your star gate. The star gate requires a key. That key is your binary codex frequency is that key. You have to bring yourself back into alignment with the source frequency, which is love and light. Otherwise, you get trapped in a 3D reality. This is what the star people are saying right now. So in order for you to access your binary codex frequency, you have to come back into love and light. So you can access that slipstream. You can feel it. You can cast yourself up and down. Oh, and they're showing me it's kind of like the Kundalini rising and the Kundalini falling. We could do that now through meditation. I've done it in my dark days too, right? I felt my energy go all the way up, but you get to a certain point and you're trapped here because you have to hold love and light in order to access the higher self realm. The higher self realm, the higher self is love and light. You can also do this the exact opposite way. I don't recommend it because many times it activates a soul cry. Whenever we hold death, darkness, and depression, it sucks the life out of us through the feet. And that energy drains. That's why we feel down. We feel low when we don't feel good, when we're dark and depressed. This is just the way the energetics flow. I'm just explaining to you guys so you have an idea. And we always want to hold love and light. We want to go up, right? We want to evolve upwards. It's okay to go into the darkness though. And it's okay to be okay. And it is okay to not be okay at the same time. That is what the star people are saying to all of us. It is okay to dive into the darkness, and it is okay to heal yourself. And it is okay to have this experience right now. And there's no rush, and there's no judgment. Each and every one of us should take our time. Everything is always in divine alignment. So we should just have compassion for ourselves. Now, what does that compassion look like when we start to have compassion? It means you tell yourself it's okay. It's okay to wake up in the morning. It's okay to exist in whatever reality that you woke up to. It is okay. And it is okay to try your best, whatever that looks like, to just make baby step changes. And so this is how I survived my dark days. I was a cripple. I couldn't even walk. And every morning I was like, it's okay. I'm just going to try. I'm still here. The universe had me wake up this morning. This is what it is. I'm just going to hold space for myself and it's okay. And I just tried a little extra every day. It was just a magical miracle because in 2.5 weeks, all my pain was gone and I was running around the place like crazy. So the second that we neutral out and then we start laughing all day and having fun, your body naturally starts getting drawn to eating things like salads, right? You naturally start getting it's like you crave it. Your body starts craving meditation. You just, you have to just chill for a minute. And when you just chill for a minute, you drop into meditation. You sit down and you watch the squirrel eat the nut. That's what I did. I sat down, I watched nature. I went down to the beach every day. I grounded, right? I just sat there and I was at peace with what is in my life. And then it's a good reminder to do it every day. Even if your day is high vibe and frequency and you're laughing all day and you're having fun, it's still good to just neutral out. Thank you. Thank you for the good days. Thank you for the bad days. It's okay to have both. It's okay to be a healer. And it's okay to take a step back and to heal yourself. That's okay too. And I think that we should start telling each other it's okay to have your experiences. And whatever they may be, it's okay. And we've all been through things. Each and every one of us has had traumas. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. What connections do the star people have with the whales and the dolphins? The whales and the dolphins are telepathic in their nature. And they actually communicate with the star people. The whales and the dolphins were sent here specifically to be encoded with information that is to be activated during a certain part of our evolutionary processes, the star people are now saying. The whales contain the memory of the entire Earth history. Their knowledge base is very, very, very extensive. And so in time, when we fully activate our telepathic abilities, we shall be able to make contact and communication with the whales, and the whales will also remind us of who we currently are, reminding us of our abilities, reminding us of every experience we've ever had, because they have all the knowledge and all the information, which is beautiful. Okay. We do have 2 more questions, but I do have the shadow work Zoom. So I offer a shadow work Zoom. It is at 8:30. My website is daniellipton.com. The shadow work Zoom is complimentary. There is 0 charge. It is just because we cultivated a community, and I believe together we heal and together we rise. And so when we start doing things together as groups, we do it because we want each and every person to be healed. We want each and every person to shine bright. And so we just go to my website, send me a message, and I send you a free Zoom link. And so you guys can come hang out with us. I let the star people guide it. So sometimes they do chakra clearings. We do attachment removals. There's just a bunch of different things that we do. It just really depends on what the star people see everyone needs. So that starts approximately at 8:30. So if you guys want to come through, it's more the merrier. It's perfectly fine. Excellent. And so you guys can also send in any questions that you have there. For me personally, it's easier to just write them on a list because all the questions is very tiny and I can't really see them too good. So I just send them in on a list and then I write them down and then we allow the star people to channel them through. So it's good. Excellent. So we normally, for TikTok, we normally do our lives Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. EST. Yes, Eastern. So the shadow work Zoom starts in 30 minutes from now. So you guys can just send a message in. I'll send you the Zoom link and then come and together we heal. Jill, you saw dolphins today. Very good. See, and that's a synchronicity for someone that just saw it. That's wonderful. So you guys have many, many love and blessings and you have a wonderful night. Excellent. I think I usually end Facebook first. I didn't do it this time. You guys have a good